Here with us is Salvador González Tamés, an opera expert and lover, one of the best in Mexico. Hello, Salvador.
Hello, how are you?
You have a love for the opera. Since what age have you been interested in this type of music?
The first time I saw an opera was in 1955. I was 15 years old. And from the first moment I got into the theater and listened to that beautiful music, to those beautiful voices, I just became enchanted with it. I always say that I fell in love, but I not only fell in love, I got sick with it, and it's an incurable sickness. So you fall in love with such a genre where you can hear beautiful voices, when you can hear beautiful music from great composers. So it's not difficult to fall in love with opera. And the answer to your question is when I was 15 years old.
And what does your family think about this interest of yours?
What family?
All your family, like your family members, like your brothers, sisters.
Okay, that because you know there's two kinds of family. The family I had when I was single, when I was just like you, living with my parents, living with my sisters. I don't have any brothers, and the other one is the one I'm living right now with my wife, with my sons, with my grandsons, etc. When I was single, when I just started to go to the opera, my parents didn't care much about it. And really, they didn't pay much attention to it. And really, I grew in an environment that wasn't much interested in opera at all. So I had to go. I didn't even speak about it with them. Afterwards, when I got married, my wife helped me very much with my interest, with my afición, and so she goes with me whenever she can to the performances. So she's very helpful and supportive. That's the word.
And you had the opportunity to meet Plácido Domingo, a famous tenor. What do people say about this?
Plácido Domingo is a very close friend. I don't see him enough as often because, well, you know, he's traveling all over the world. He's singing all the time, and his world is different than mine. But nevertheless, I met him about 50 years ago, 1961. I met him here in Monterrey. Then I met him again in a few years later when he sang here in '78. And from then on, we became very good friends. We were very close. I email him very often. Whenever I have the opportunity, I go to sing with him and everything. I mean, to hear him sing. I mean, and what people think about? Well, they seem very interested and to ask me, what does Plácido say about this? What does Plácido say about that? When is he going to sing another new role? How many roles does he sing? You know, he sings about 140 different roles in about 10 different languages. So that's very wow.
Yeah. And I guess you have done trips to see opera concerts. What is the trip you have enjoyed the most?
You know something? You know what this is? You know what this chart is?
No.
This is the names of the operas, different places, and each little cross is the performers I've seen.
Wow. There are a lot.
I haven't seen very many performances because in my city, your city, there isn't any opera. So whenever I have to go in opera, I have to travel. Yes. I have seen this second line is Monterrey, and I have seen quite a few here. But in total, I have seen 480 performances in my life. And I've enjoyed mostly every trip. I've gone to, I believe it's about 8 different cities in the world that I have seen opera, all over the United States and a couple in Europe. And in Mexico, I have seen operas in Guadalajara, in Mexico City, and in Monterrey, which is the trip to the opera I have enjoyed the most. That's your question. I believe I will say that when I went with my parents to London in 1980, when we saw the opera, the Tales of Hoffmann with Plácido Domingo, We had dinner afterwards with him and his family, and the performance was so great that it's filmed, it's on video, and it's been all over the world. And I enjoyed very much that trip to London with my parents. I think that's the most memorable.
Okay. You give opera classes too. What do you love the most about giving them?
Well, they say I teach classes, but I don't. I give lectures. I give talks on opera. No, you know, when you give a class, when you teach a class, you expect them to learn. Mm-hmm. You expect them to take an examination on it, or a quiz or whatever. And this is not the case. I just give talks, give small pláticas on opera, and I enjoy them very, very much. This is part of my life by now, and I enjoy them so much that people that hear them enjoy them more than I do. So that's a very pleasant for me. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm.
What is the strangest thing you have experienced while doing what you love?
While watching opera?
Yes.
The strangest things?
Yes.
There are many anecdotes regarding an opera performance. The most strange and frightful thing I've seen was when I was watching Don Giovanni, an opera by Mozart, in Dallas with the Metropolitan Opera. There were 5 singers singing on stage, a concertante, which is called when various voices are involved. They were singing, and suddenly one of them looked up, and a big piece of wood fell on the stage. And they saw it coming, so they took a jump backwards, so they wouldn't hurt. They wouldn't get hurt, and they made it. The thing landed on the stage, and they kept singing. They kept singing and singing until the act ended. So that was very frightful and very memorable.
Wow. If you hadn't chosen to do this, what would you be doing right now?
Excuse me, come again?
If you hadn't had this interest, what would you love? Like another interest or?
Well, I have many interests. Opera is not my only interest.
What?
In fact, it's my second interest. Of course, as years have gone by, my interest in opera has been growing and growing. But my first interest in life was, I mean, from a point of view of hobbies, was baseball.
Wow.
I love baseball, and especially Major League Baseball. So that's my second love.
Oh. Well, with this we end our interview. Thanks you, Salvador, for your time. We really enjoyed having you with us.
Well, it's my pleasure.